Hello everyone. In the last video of JavaScript documentation, we have seen how to do iteration over an array in JavaScript. We have also seen some of the operation methods like map, reduce, then filter, then also find, then include. There are lots of operation we have seen in every, each, in sum, uh, index of all this thing in JavaScript array iteration. In this video we're gonna start with JavaScript array constant declaration. So in ES6 we have this constant keyword. Previously we had only bar. After ES6 we have this constant and let. So as we have seen in our previous video when we had this uh, I believe constant, JavaScript constant, we have seen that we cannot declare two constant variable at the same time. What I mean is, let's say we have a car.constant. If we try to declare again, it will say that already has been declared. If we try to reassign the value, it will again have this problem that assignment of constant variable is not valid, something like that. Assignment to constant variable some at anonymous blah 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 type error. Now there is one thing we always need to concern about, like let's say we have a car of this array, and we want to add or modify this array value, which is okay because constant array we can modify the index value, or we can reassign the array to a new array. But scope of the car is only if we define something here is scope to the all around all the code available on this global index, right? But what if we change the scope? For example, if we just declare something like this, if you notice that this works, because if we have a bracket here, something like this, it goes in a different scope. What I mean is, if we have something again here, if you notice that this will gonna throw another error, or we can test it out with the removing the car as well. So scope of the variable matters. Always remember, if we had this, instead of constant we have this bar, then this is all will be valid. Just I can remove this bar and it will be sorry, let's refresh the page first. So if we have this will be valid already. Even we have this bar here again, it will be still valid. But in the constant, the scope of the variable has some issue, right? So this is what it means here in this page. So we have this array, we can modify this element of the array, though it's a constant. But when we try to when we try to assign the value, this is okay also, because this block of code is different scope than this car. However, if you notice the example here, the bar is allowed, but when we have this car and car, this is not allowed because this bar is already declared, and we again try to declare a constant. And here if we have a bar, this is not also allowed because this car is declared, and again we try to declare. Similar way, if you have a constant of cars, then this constant will be not allowed. See, at the same time the bar will be not allowed as well. That's why we have to refresh the page during that time. But if we have a different scope, we are allowed to have this car, but we are not allowed to have this all this thing, because these all are in same scope, and this scope and this scope is totally different. Always remember. So when I said scope, it doesn't mean just a bracket. It's mean that for example, if we have a, let's say, function, okay, so we had this car, right? Okay, let's try this. we have this car, but let's say we have this function get car. Now if we write this thing, this is still valid, and if we say get cars, this will be still valid, and we can write this function different way also. Get, let's say get car, and we just return it. So this is also a separate um, let's do the example this way. So this is also a separate scope, right? And if we say get car, we notice that it will return the car, always return the car in the same scope, but it will always define this in a separate scope, and this is always valid. But if we try to assign here something on this car, this will not be valid because already been declared. So always make sure when you define a constant, always make sure you check the scope of this variable. Now we go to the date operation. So this will be really fairly simple. So in JavaScript, date gives the current system date of the user system, because new date always run on the user system. Which what I mean is, if you notice in my current system, I have some time given July 8 something, and if we just get this value, it to show the current date of this current system of my laptop. So if you need a static date, you need to give the date from the server itself, which will gonna share between all the user with the time zone or something like that. So if the users are in different time zones, then always make sure that you check the time zone with the date. So for normal, in I'm browsing from Singapore, so it will be a +8. Based on your time zone, you're gonna receive different time zone plus. So for me, I received GMT +8. So new date has multiple parameter. So it accept year, month, date, and all these are optional. So you can try with multiple option, right? So if you say new date, we say, let's say year 2021, then month 01 and day 01. This is also valid. Okay. We can pass the hour, millisecond, and everything, and we can pass a millisecond. What millisecond is? New date get time will gonna give you the millisecond time of this. If we just do something like this, it will still give us the same date of today. So remember, and we can pass a date string as well, which will gonna also do the date. From the date we have multiple. This is now just now we have just now seen. Let's see the millisecond. This is the millisecond we have just now seen. So in date we have multiple method, right? We can get some of the thing like new date dot get. We can get year method, all the things, second, get time. So these methods are very useful when you want to get a specific. For example, if I want to get the full year, I'll pass this and I'll get 2021. If I want to get month only, I'll get 6. Remember, month will gonna zero base index, so you have to add 1. And we can get day also works. We can get time zone. Get time we just have to see, but get time zone. Offset, we can get the time zone offset as well. So these are the basic method in date we can get the ISO string also. um, we can get the ISO date. This is the ISO date type, which consists of your date, and is in the middle there is a T, and there is a time, and also you have the time zone. So let's go to the date formats. So this is the ISO date format we have just now seen. The short date is this, and the long date is this, and this is the base instant date format which will gonna defaultly return. We can we can convert to ISO date by passing a string as well. So if we pass this, it will gonna create a date of this date, 2025 21/5/03/25, and this will return also this date. We can convert ISO date as well. So if we convert this, if you notice that we pass only the 03, which will gonna take as a March, but date will be as a 01. If we pass the year only, it will take the first month and the first date, but it will take 2015, and it will return the time zone as well together with. We can pass the time zone and everything. So for example, this will gonna return the time zone with 00. So it will return the time zone of current time zone which I'm belongs to. We can define a UTC time zone as well, which will gonna return the UTC time zone. So so just remember that UTC time zone is coordinates, so some GMT, Greenwich Mean Time, and omitting this Z and T in the time string can give different result in different browser. So always make sure that you include this. And this is the normal different way of writing the time in JavaScript. And this is the get method we just now have seen, like get full year, get month, get minutes, and all this thing. Get date.now is ECMAScript 5 version, which will gonna give the millisecond. So we can, so now we know, like we get date dot get time also will gonna similar to that, so we can use the now as well. So this all thing we have just now have seen. So UTC date will gonna give get date, UTC day is gonna give the UTC day. So this is something you can read through the examples. On the set method, we can set the date, hour, minute, second, and time as well. So we can set the full year. Let's say we define a date and we can set the full year, for example. And if we print the D, you notice that it has been changed to 2020. How about this return to 2021? So that's it for this video. See you on the next one. Please do subscribe and share with your friends if it's this useful. Bye.